The American Revolutionary War, also known as the American War of Independence, gave the original 13 colonies freedom from the British Crown. The war took place from April 1775 through September 1783, lasting 8 long years, and at many points, victory was far from certain. Today is National Ratification Day, when in 1783 the Treaty of Paris was ratified by the United States, officially ending the Revolution. So, this week in our Freedom Facts, we're taking a look at some lesser-known facts about our war for independence. Freedom fact number 1, before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, there was a plot to assassinate George Washington. It was set up by the British-appointed governor of New York, William Tryon, and Loyalist mayor of New York City, David Matthews. The men planned to kill or capture Washington using guards who would turn on him. The plot was discovered, and Washington ordered those involved to be arrested. It was foiled by the Committee for Detecting and Defeating Conspiracies, led by John Jay, who would later become one of the country's founding fathers and the first Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Thomas Hickey was found guilty in his role in the plot against Washington on June 26, 1776. 2 days later, he was hanged in New York before 20,000 onlookers. Freedom fact number 2, armies and supporters of the cause communicated during the Revolutionary War by sending letters, giving speeches, and holding meetings. Now, to keep information secret, however, both the American and British armies used invisible ink. But George Washington took classified messages seriously. So, in 1775, James Jay, the brother of John Jay, created a system that required the use of 2 chemicals to read and write the notes. The secret message would be written in sympathetic ink. When dried, it was invisible. Later, when the second chemical was applied, there would be a reaction that revealed the message. Washington and his commanders used it to disguise messages between the lines of letters, newspaper clippings, or in the backs of books. Freedom fact number 3, despite Paul Revere perhaps having the most famous ride in American history, traveling from Boston, Massachusetts to Lexington to warn Patriot leaders in hiding there of the British advance, he wasn't the only rider of his time. One of the others was a woman named Sybil Ludington, who in 1777 would become a heroine of the American Revolutionary War after riding more than 40 miles through Putnam County, New York in one night to warn forces of a British attack. There were a small number of women who also fought in the Continental Army. Deborah Sampson was one of them. She served for more than a year, all while disguised as a man. She was the only woman to earn a full military pension for participation in the Revolution. And historians continue to argue over Mary Lugwood Hayes, better known as Molly Pitcher, who today represents the many women then working on the battlefields. According to historical evidence, Mary Lugwood Hayes earned the name Molly Pitcher after carrying water to cool off cannons and soldiers during the Battle of Monmouth. There's a rest stop named for her today in New Jersey. Freedom fact number 4, spies were used extensively during the war, including the Culper Ring, organized by Major Benjamin Talmadge and General George Washington in 1778. The group used ciphers and code names, supplying the Continental Army with information on troop positions, plans, and supplies. The name of the group was suggested by Washington and was taken from Culpeper County, Virginia. Today, the identity of most of the Culper agents are known. However, there was a female spy in the ring, Agent 355, whose identity is still a mystery, but whose story even inspired a modern-day spy film titled The 355, starring the likes of Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, and Sebastian Stan. Washington's code number was 711. And freedom fact number 5, the 6-month encampment of General George Washington's Continental Army at Valley Forge in eastern Pennsylvania during the winter of 1777 was a major turning point during the war. Conditions at the encampment were notoriously harsh and cold. Men were hungry and tired, resulting in many of them actually deserting the army. Historians believe that more than 2,000 soldiers deserted. Over the course of the war, about 231,000 men served in the Continental Army, but there were never more than 48,000 at any one time. Throughout the course of the war, an estimated 6,800 Americans were killed in action and 6,100 wounded. More than 20,000 were taken prisoner. Our freedom was hard fought. It's still up to all of us to keep it. And that's a look at your freedom facts for the week.